And good morning. I have completely lost my voice. It was fine this morning, and then I start recording, and it disappears. So I apologize for that. I'll do the best that I can. I am headed out to the middle of nowhere to look at a bunch of old cars. I have no clue what's there. One of the auction companies that I go to all the time called me and said, hey, I've got a bunch of old cars I'm going to be auctioning off. Can you come out and help me identify them all? I said, yeah, sure, you bet. I said, can I make a video while I'm there? And he said, yeah, you bet. Let's get some advertisement going. So it's Morris Yoder Auctions. If you want to look it up, I'll put a link in the description. But I guess my voice says I am done talking, so I'll just see you there. Well, I made it. This is what met me at the entrance. Got a Bonneville, and it looks like a Lincoln. I don't want to look around too much. I haven't got permission to look around yet, and Morris isn't here yet. And please excuse my voice. This is just wonderful, wonderful timing. I get to come out here and talk about a whole bunch of old cars and show them to you guys. And of course, my voice decides today is the day that it doesn't want to work anymore. There's a lot of newer stuff out here too. Morris just texted me and said he's out back, so I want to walk out back there. There's a lot of newer stuff up here. There's an old tractor there. So I don't know. Oh, there he is right there. All right, got done talking to him. We walked around the whole place, numbered all the cars, kind of figured out what year everything was. That was my main job of being here today, was doing that. But now I'm going to walk around. You're definitely going to want to stay tuned. There's a building beside that semi-trailer over there that's got some really, really cool cars in it. But we're going to go there here in a little bit. I was just in there and it's hot in there, so I need to cool down, walk around in the breeze. So we'll walk around and check out these vehicles. Right now they're kind of scattered, helter-skelter, but they will be lined up in rows. But there's tons of good stuff, like this tire guard right there, spare tire cover. I saw probably, I don't know, probably 50 of those laying around. Bunches of old grain trucks. There's a handful of tractors and combines out here as well. Like this old white here. It's not a bad tractor. Most of the good cars are either there, out there, or over there in those trees. There's a lot of newer stuff in here that, you know, I hate to say it, but a lot of this is going to go for scrap. Some of these pieces probably will go for more, like these tractors and whatnot. And then there's some grain trucks in here that'll go for more than that. But stuff like this Dodge Caravan here, I mean, that's probably going to bring $100 at the sale. Stuff like this is borderline. This is nothing I'd be interested in. But you know, if it's selling for $100, I'm going to bid on it. I can't not bid on something like that. But like this Celebrity or whatever, this Cavalier, whatever this is, nothing special really. This Dodge, it's got some pretty cool stuff on it. It's got a guard on the door. It's got a funky hood ornament on it. I'm guessing this is off of a Mercury or a Lincoln. I have never seen so many Mercuries and Lincolns in one place in my life. It's got some neat pieces on this one here, and it's a 5-window big winch truck. Oh, here's one here. This job rated custom. I think the H stands for Hemi. Am I wrong on that? But there's no Hemi in it. But there's a Hemi in the barn that would be about the right one for this truck. So definitely a neat piece. This F-250 is a really neat one. With the long bed step side, I'm gonna get a picture of that real quick. 2-door hardtop. Of course the front clip is gone. Oh, and that's one other thing, is the seats are gone out of almost every single car out here. I guess he likes to take the seats out of them and stash them. I do want to say thank you to Morris for having me out here, and thank you to the family for allowing me to come out here and help with this. I wanted to get a video of the cars like they sit before the sale, because they're going to be all lined up nice and neat. And so I wanted to be able to show the before and then during the sale. And then if I buy a bunch, I'll be making videos of cleaning it up out here. This Country Squire is really neat though. It's got a little bit of rust in it, but I mean, it's Country Squire. Photomatic. It's got the visor on it. It's really not that bad of a car. Like I say, a little bit of rust, but I mean, when you're dealing in 70-year-old cars, you just got to deal with rust. It's part of life. There's a bunch. We'll circle kind of around this way and come back over there. Here's an old F1, about a 51, I think. Pretty complete truck. Pretty much all of these vehicles out here are going to have some rust in them. I mean, they've been sitting in these fields since the 70s and 80s. And then there are boatloads of random hoods. Like there's a hood there. Here's a front clip for like a 49 or 50 Ford truck. When I come to this sale, I'm going to have to bring somebody with me that knows kind of roughly what's going on. And I'm going to have to hire them to help bid on stuff for me, because check out that Spitfire spark plug guide. yeah, I'm gonna have to hire somebody, because I mean there's 125 cars that we put numbers on like that, and so that's gonna be almost all day long. It's gonna be probably 3 hours of the day right there, and I'm gonna be bidding on those. And the buildings up there are clear full of parts. I'll show them in a little bit. Grills and hoods and bumpers and all sorts of good stuff. So I'm gonna see if I can talk maybe Sean into coming and helping me bid on the stuff that day, because he knows what's what. And I'll just give him a number and say, bid. This is definitely not gonna be a one-man sale. They're gonna have 2 rings going all day, I'm sure. Check out this old Mallory distributor, just sitting out here in the weather. I told Morris if that motor would have been inside, that would have been a good one to sell separate. But look at all these old flatheads laying around on the ground out here. Just kind of crazy. Piece of an old car there. He said what he's probably gonna do is just like say, okay, all of these engines out here are choice, and that way if anybody does want to buy one or something like that, they can, and then he'll lump the rest together and sell them, and the scrap guy will buy them probably. That's really about the only way you can do it, because I mean some of these have no value whatsoever beyond scrap. They've just been laying in the dirt for too long. And like a water heater, nobody's gonna want that. But you never know, there might be something good up here in this pile, and so you just let people look around before the sale. You come up to this pile and you say, okay, choice out of this pile, and then people pick out the pieces they want, and then you sell the rest of it and go on. Stuff like this, I'm sure there's a hood laying around somewhere, and it is super windy out today, so I hope you can hear me. But this car here, I mean, it's got a sweet looking trunk on it. Guy could cut off and make a couch out of that. There's some pretty good ones I'll show you here in just a second. There's 2 really good cars over here. There's a bunch of cars like this here that maybe it goes for scrap, maybe there's a collector here. There's no motor in it. If somebody needed parts, you could probably buy this car for somewhere in the neighborhood of like 300 bucks at the sale, because the scrap guy is going to tap out around 200, 250. But if there's nobody here needing parts, it won't do good. But then you got other cars like this one here. This is a 2-door, about a 60, what is it, 61, 2? No, this is newer than that. This is a 64, isn't it? 63 or 4 with those taillights. I'm pretty sure 63 was round, 64 was the rectangle, so this would be a 64. But still, it's a 2-door, it's all here. Stuff like this will bring more money. There's a few of them like this one here. We didn't bother to put a number on it. I mean, it's a 56, 57 Ford, 4-door Fairlane with nothing left on it of any good. I mean, it's got a couple little pieces of trim, but they're 4-door trim that nobody's gonna want anyway. So stuff like that, we just didn't bother to put a number on. There's bunches of 2-doors out here. We numbered them. They're pretty rough cars, but look, all that chrome is still good on that car. And like this one here, it's a 4-door, but it's got lots of good chrome on it once again. Lots of good dash parts. I don't think we numbered that one. We went ahead and numbered these. Once again, I mean, they're pretty rough, but I mean, it's a station wagon, Country Squire station wagon. You just don't see them that often anymore. So if somebody needs parts, here's a really sharp one here. On the list, there's probably about 15 or 20 vehicles that I marked special with an X and told Morris those are the ones he really needs to push advertising. And this is one of them right here. I mean, I do not see these commuters very often. I think I've only had one of these in my life, and it was a stripped out shell out of a tree row with no glass in it. You just don't see commuters very often at all. I went through and looked at the taillights and all that earlier. I don't feel like doing it all again. This has the Turnpike engine in it. You can see the little emblem down there, it says Turnpike engine. So pretty sharp car, a little bit of rust in it, but I mean, once again, what do you expect? I mean, it is a wagon though, and that's just pretty awesome. I'm gonna get a picture of that one too. I forgot to get a picture earlier. And then we got what's left of another 2-door. I don't think we put a number on this one. It's pretty stripped out. 56 Ford short bed, and we didn't put a number on that one, kind of junky. We'll go over here on the hill and check these out. There's a 56 Ford cab over there, and then a 57 or 8 Mercury there. Nothing special, but check out this Cadillac. This Cadillac is too cool. The bumpers are gone, but up in the building there's stacks of bumpers, and that's why a guy's gonna have to just, if your guy's planning on buying most of the cars, he's gonna have to plan on buying most of the bumpers too. At least the seats are in this one. Been here a long time. That tree's starting to grow into it. You can see how far down it's buried. I just thought this car was really cool, how it's the slope back like that with the little fins on the back of it. Got an old Dodge Corvair Monza convertible. Here's a Monterey 2-door hardtop, 54, 53 Ford, something like that. Check this one out though. This is a Montego MX. It's missing a few parts, but it's a Montego MX. But check this one out right here, guys. This is one of the better vehicles on the property. This is a Cyclone GT Mercury. Unfortunately, the interior is gone like always. I have no clue why the interior is gone out of 90% of these cars. It just cracks me up. The grill's laying inside it. I think it's broken, but it's there. But the rest of it looks to be pretty well complete. And then here's a Mercury Comet S22. It's got the bucket seats and the console in it. This one's pretty rough, but this is a two-door hardtop Lincoln Premier. Like I say, it is really rough. But man, this is a rare car. It's a shame that it's in this condition. But they can't all be winners. Lots and lots of good parts on it, that's for sure. We'll keep going up this way. Tons of random fenders laying around, and grills and core supports, and there's a hood, and yeah, there's another grill, just doors. Here's another Montego, just a 4-door. Here's a good one. This old mid-30s Ford pickup, parked in 1955. It's a little on the rough side, but it's pretty complete. Another bump side. I like this old truck here, but this will bring more money than what I want to spend. Stuff like this will go for pretty good money. You can see it used to be an actual pickup, and they stuck the flatbed on there and just kind of smashed the fender. A couple Rancheros out here. Another 60s Ford. Here's a Ford 2-door ranch wagon. Missing the front clip. It's probably laying out here somewhere. And here's a couple Mercury 8s. This is the little coupe. There's a 2-door sedan. Somewhere there's a 4-door over there by that pine tree as well. Look at this old Ford here. It's been in this tree for so long that this bumper is grown up into the tree. And this truck's pretty on the rough side, so Morris said what he's probably going to do is just let it sit right where it's at and sell it to the scrappers. But I mean, you can see that the tree is wrapped around the frame, so someone's going to have to get pretty violent to get that thing out of here. Here's what's left of the grill laying on the ground. Probably been laying right there for 30 years. This one here's got a good visor on it, a good Fulton. Another Monterey. Here's a country sedan wagon. Rear end's gone, it looks like. Here's another country sedan. Now this is one of the ones that I like right here. This is one of my favorites at the sale. This is Plymouth Suburban wagon. Pretty neat piece. It's missing a lot of parts though, but I doubt it brings that much money, so this will probably be one that I take home. There's a 57 Dodge front clip, truck front clip laying down there. Mid-50s Ford. Oh, check these out. We got a 57 Buick Special and a Roadmaster sitting side by side, hanging out here watching the old oil pump. We've got a wraparound window Dodge cab. Got a 57 Ford truck front clip. There may be some value. More than likely this is the sort of stuff that I'm going to go home with. The hood is right there for this 58 Dodge. Here's a front clip for something. There's a front clip, but a lot of these front clips are missing the grill, and so they don't have a whole lot of value to me. But you know, if I can buy them for 20 bucks, I'll buy them. Handful of cabs. Look at this door on this cab. Schaffner. That's pretty neat. Cabin front clip. Here's another Dodge cabin front clip. This one's pretty complete. I think this is a 57 here as well, or 56, one of the two. Another cab over there. Here's a 2-door hardtop. Pontiac, I believe. Pretty rough, but lots of good parts once again. Up here we have a Toyota and a Ford. Nothing special there, but what's in the back of this Ford truck. Now this here, for the guys that say I'm such a scoundrel and I'm a ripoff and I'm a cheat and all this and that, I could have just kept my mouth shut, not said a word to anybody about this right here, and nobody would have known better, and I would have bought it at the sale probably for a reasonable price. But I told Morris, I said, you need to put that online, because that there is a very high dollar item. This is an old pull behind trailer, single wheel rear trailer. It's pretty well all still here, and it's in good condition. Honestly, that is worth more than most of these cars out here. So if I really was such a bad person like some people on the internet claim, I wouldn't have said a word. But I said, no, I'm out here working for Morris Yoder today for the auction company, so I'm going to put in the work and do a good job. And today I am working for somebody else. Even though I'm out here having fun making videos, it doesn't really feel like work. It is work. We spent probably 2 hours walking around identifying these vehicles and the years and whatnot. There's a Electra 225 down there. Another Ranchero, couple, I think a 55 and a 54 54 and a 55 Ford F600s over here. There is tons and tons and tons of junk in the trees, but this sort of stuff, just gonna let it sit, and the scrap buyers, when they buy it, they can figure out how to get it out of the trees. I kind of went through all this stuff up here, and honestly, I didn't really see anything of any value. I mean, there's a few little pieces, like there's a 51 or 2, or I mean 50 or 51 Ford grill over there. Check out these little buggy things though. You gotta watch where you're walking. Tons of tripping hazards out here. With this homemade buggy with this heavy duty roll cage, and then there's another one right there. Those are kind of interesting. They'd make good yard art. If I buy a bunch of stuff out here, I may buy those too. I'm planning on buying quite a few of these cars, and if I do, if that's what happens, then I'll bring the loader out here and my big trailer and hire somebody else with a big trailer and haul them home. There's a whole car right here, but it's upside down and it's just the body, and it's rusted into the ground pretty bad. Back half of a car, bunches of partial pieces of cars and scrap iron. This must have just been his scrap pile where he threw everything he didn't want, and they'll probably just sell this whole pile for one money, like do choice 2 or 3 times and then sell it. Another mid 50s. Here's that other Mercury 8 that I was telling you about. This is the 4-door. So there's the 4-door, the 2-door sedan, and the 2-door coupe. No convertibles. Mercury Monterey. This one's got air conditioning under the dash. It's one of the best parts going for this car. It's got a good looking trunk on it, but somebody mangled the trunk lid on it. So that's kind of unfortunate. If a guy was going to make something out of this, you'd have to figure something else out for the deck lid. Bunches of just hoods laying around everywhere, and some of them, like this one here, that trim is probably worth some pretty good money, but man, I don't know if I want to get that far into it or not. Look at this old convertible here. Unfortunately, not really much left of it. All the convertible stuff's gone except for a few pieces of trim. Now in here is some really good cars once again. Right here's a really good one. This is a Medalist, Mercury Medalist, 2-door hardtop. Look at these currant bushes. They got berries growing on them. But anyway, the motor's gone, the grill's gone. It's missing quite a bit, but it is a 2-door hardtop. Evidently, there used to be a car or two down here that got pulled out at some point. Corvair. I guess we'll go over here and look at these while we're here. Got a 60 Thunderbird down here. Kind of a good looking color on this car. I kind of like it. And there's a Ford Fairlane 500. Looks like a Montclair or Monterey down there. Got a road. Oh, this is a 2-door hardtop Roadmaster here. This is one of the better ones, I think. Buicks aren't quite as desirable as like if it was a 57 Chevy 2-door hardtop, but still, it's just a good looking car. I really like this one. And this one here is one of the ones that's still complete. It's got the grille, the bumpers, the seats, everything is still on it. It hasn't been stripped out. Got a 64 Thunderbird. Here's another 2-door hardtop Mercury in here. I think this is just a custom here. It's not the fancier one, but still, it's 2-door hardtop. Mercury Cougar. This truck here he was driving not too long ago. If you're into the newer stuff, it's got a Power Stroke in it. Another 2-door hardtop Mercury. A little bit newer on this one. Oh, here's a good one here. This is a 65, I think, Mercury Comet Caliente. The motor's gone. Most of the interior is gone. The hood's gone, but the body isn't in bad shape. It's got just a tiny bit of rust, and then the quarter panel's rusted out on the bottom back here. But the doors are good, the fenders are good. That car there ought to be worth something to somebody for sure. A Lincoln Premier. Another Roadmaster. These cars are so neat sitting down here in these trees. That's why I'm so glad they were willing to let me come in here and film them where they're sitting at. Because once they're out and lined up, they're going to line them all up out here in the field. And it'll still be neat, but it won't be as neat as seeing them where they're sitting right now. I know you guys like the ones just like they are better in my videos than the ones where they're all nice and neat. This car here, the way I take it, is it was parked right where it's sitting. And they used to have cardboard in the windshield to keep the sun off of it. But it's been sitting here a long time. I think there's a couple more 2-doors over here. Yeah. Once again, pretty stripped out, but there's what? I think 5 or 6 of these out here. Maybe more. So if a guy was to buy, you know, several of them, you can make one good one pretty easy. There's an Isuzu Pup back there, and then like a 71 Mercury here. Let's go check out what's in the buildings. This is where I'm going to need a second person that knows what's up. I didn't actually go in here earlier, but I'll go in here now. But you guys can already see what I'm going for. See, like, here's a bucket seat. That probably goes to one of those cars out there. It's a Thunderbird, so I guess maybe not. There's only 2 Thunderbirds, and they both have the seats. But there's lots of seats over there, you'll see in a minute. But look at these grills. These are all 57 Ford truck grills. 1 year only pieces. But like, look at this right here. A Triumph piece just laying down here in the dirt. That's going to be a good piece. But yeah, that's the bottom piece. That was off a Super Duty. So this must have been a Super Duty truck here. That's a very rare setup. And then obviously 2 chrome 57 grills. Good stuff. I want to get a picture of that Triumph piece laying down there in the dirt though. That's just too neat. It's the funniest thing. There's things with sockets laying everywhere out here. Like, there's a bucket seat out of something. Who knows what. Like, here's a couple bumpers. I bet you those bumpers are off of that car right there. That's a 2-door hardtop. No bumpers, no grill. If a guy could figure out what bumpers go to that car and what grill goes to it. Actually, there's a grill right there. Put it back together, makes the car worth quite a bit more. There's some artillery wheels laying around. Bunches of hubcaps. He said what he'll probably do is come in here and pull this old Victoria out. That's a Fairlane Victoria right there. He'll pull it out and then kind of clean the middle out, and then just let people come in here and they can choice off the walls. This room here, once again, there's grills and chrome pieces. There's dashes, steering wheels. There's some more grills, like an early 60s Ford truck grill over there. There's another spare tire cover right there. Bunches and bunches and bunches of seats and heads and carburetors, and a lot of that sort of stuff though isn't much good because of the roof falling in. But there's still a lot of good stuff in here. Maybe there's some old banjo steering wheels. Of course, there's not that much old stuff in here. There's an old skip tooth bicycle down there. If this place was closer to home, I would just buy everything. But it's about an hour away from me, so I'm not going to be super picky. I mean, it's not that long of a drive. I'm going to bid on quite a bit of stuff, but I'm not going to try to buy it all, you know. This old Victoria's not too bad a condition, really. It's missing the front clip, or most of it, and the interior is gone, but the body is pretty solid on this car. So I think that in there will be a decent one for somebody. You can get the front clip off of a 4-door. There's actually a couple. Oh, check that out. Floor shifter just laying down here in the dirt. It's a Mr. gasket. It's aftermarket, but it's still neat. But yeah, it's hard telling what all's really in here. He said the house, there's a house up front. It's locked up, so we couldn't go in there, but it's clear full of parts too. There's the building that's got the neat old cars in it. Probably the best cars of the place, but let's just take a quick tour through here. More old hoods and doors, and here's a tailgate off of an old wagon. That's a neat piece. That's probably a halfway decent part. Bumpers. Here's what's left of an old grill. Too bad it's laying down here getting smashed. I'll lay it up there. I think it's too late though. Out back I found several tailgates down in the dirt that I dug out for them and leaned up against stuff. Just an old 4-door back there, nothing special. There's a 57 Ford F350 winch truck over there. And then back here is a couple stripped out Ford trucks. We didn't put numbers on those. There's not much left of them. But in here's a couple good ones. We got this old Chieftain, 57 I think, 57 Chieftain. But the really good one is this 41 Chevy pickup. Oh, I didn't see the visor in the back of it. Man, check that out. There's 2 visors in the back of it. And those don't go to this truck, so really those need to be pulled out and sold separate. But yeah, look at this thing right here. Not in bad condition for sitting here under a tree for all this time. I think this in here will bring pretty good money. Way more than I want to spend anyway. But it is a 41. You can always tell because it's got the little pot metal deals on top of the headlights. And it should have a pot metal ring. Yeah, pot metal ring around the rear window. That was a 1 year only thing. 46 and early 47 didn't have that and didn't have that. Supposedly there's a bunch of bicycles in that building. Morris said he's gonna rip that roof off with his telehandler. All this stuff will probably sell right where it's sitting. There's a bunches of magnetos and carburetors, but I mean, they've been laying out here for who knows how many decades. So unfortunately, it's probably a little bit too late for those. There's the tire machine. There's a couple more cars in front of the house, so stay tuned for those as well. A couple nice ones, but I'm not going to drag you along forever. I'll take you in here show you these awesome cars that are in this building. Hopefully my camera doesn't overheat. First up, we've got a Mercury S55 convertible. Look at this car. Such a good looking car. Unfortunately, the front clip is gone. A lot of the interior is gone as well, and who knows where it's all at. It might be out here somewhere scattered in amongst the vehicles and other stuff. So that's going to be a case there where if you're wanting some of these cars out here, like something like this, you probably ought to come to the sale. That way you can look around and see if you can find the stuff for it. Because this place is just packed. Everything's going to sell. Everything is going to sell. And so it's just too much for the auction company to try to organize every little thing. And I'm trying to help them, but I'm only one person. I can't do it all either. But the floors in this car, as you can see, are rock solid. No rust in this car at all. So yeah, it might be missing some parts, but you gotta have to pick your poison. Either you want to deal with finding parts or deal with fixing rust. Next up, this is one of the really cool ones here too. This is a retractable hardtop, I'm pretty sure. That's what it looks like to me anyway, because I think this top comes off and it's got a funky looking trunk on it. I've never had one, so that's why I don't know 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure this is a retractable hardtop. Once again, it's pretty stripped out, but the top's here, the trunk's here. As you can see, it's all this is much different than a normal car, and it's not very rusty. Lots of surface rust, but no through rust. Kind of looks like a Ranchero in the back end. But yeah, that's going to be a pretty good car. Both of those will be decent cars. But over here are some even better ones. We've got a Lincoln Continental. Now this is one here that I don't know what year this is for sure. I'm not an expert on ones this old. I was guessing around a 1940, but you tell me, what year is this car? It's got the spare tire on the back, the Continental kit, the actual Continental kit. I thought that was pretty cool. It's clear full of wasps, so I'm trying not to get stung. Who knows what's down in these boxes? He said what he's going to do is probably get the equipment and the vehicles out of here and then just come through here and do choice and then sell everything else on the shelf. Yeah, this Continental is a very good looking car. The glass is all gone, but the body's all here and it's in pretty good shape. And no, I'm not climbing on the car, I'm climbing on the stuff in front of the car. Oh, I didn't see this door here. That's a bummer. But still, the other side of the car is pretty nice. And the rest of the car, so really it's just this one door that's messed up. It's got the fender skirts for it still. This is just a good looking car. This ought to be worth a little bit of money. And then next up, that's worth a pretty penny, we've got a Lincoln Premier convertible. Good looking rock solid car. Once again, missing some pieces, but the guy can work with that. I think all of the convertible stuff is here. The fender skirts are here. They're laying inside the car, so really it's just interior. The guy can, and the interior might be in the house. That's the thing. That's why you kind of want to come to the sale. And if you come to the sale, you're welcome to come say hello to me, talk to me. But if you see me and I'm bidding on stuff, please give me a second until I'm done bidding. Seems like every auction I go to anymore, I meet 30 or 40 people that I know. Sometimes not that many, but a lot of times I'll meet 20, 30, 40 people. And it never fails that at least one person comes up to me right in the middle of trying to bid on stuff. And then they get upset when I don't talk to them. Not that I'm trying to be rude, it's just that I'm trying to bid. And then we have a Mercury convertible here. This one's missing, I think, one fender. Oh, but this is what's really cool about this one, is check out what's laying on the front of it. Another Continental kit cover. And there's another one laying over there on the back of it. And I think there's one inside the car too. So, quite a few. And then where is it at? Oh, right here. There's a whole row of engines all along here. There's some FE Fords, several of those in here. But here's a Hemi, and this might be the Hemi out of that Dodge truck out back. No, not with that bill housing. But it is a Hemi out of something. I don't know what size it is. It's too hot to check. I've been in here for how long on the camera now? 5 minutes. And I am cooking. It is so hot in here. Yeah, all these engines, it's just going to be choice all the way down once these cars are out of here. Yeah, look at these convertibles though. That's just crazy, having a retractable hardtop and 3 convertibles, and then that Continental. All rare cars. And all very rock solid cars that have been in this barn for many, many years. And then we have a 2-door sedan. And this one isn't nearly as rare as the other cars, but it's pretty well complete. And it's in really good condition. If a guy gave this car a wash, this would be a really nice car right here. But now to get out of here, I have to go all the way back around. So I'm going to do that. I'll see you guys outside. Woo-wee. Man alive, it's hot in there. It's hot out here too, but at least there's a breeze. Whew, I gotta cool off for a second. Morris gave me a Gatorade, but it's about gone already. I think I have a bottle of water in my truck, 1 bottle left. Oh man, but it's worth it. I tell you what, I love my job. This is a ton of fun. I hope you guys are enjoying this too. What was really hard about walking around earlier with Morris, I'll go through here I guess, is that I had a pen and paper and I was trying to write down every car, what it was and all that, and anything special about that car. And I was trying not to get sweat all over the paper. And it kept running off of me on the paper. Boatloads of Ford, Mercury, Lincolns out here, and then a handful of other stuff too, but no Mustangs. I thought that was kind of interesting. Not a single Mustang on the property. Over here we've got a Geo and a Love and a Isuzu. And last but definitely not least, we've got this Bonneville right here. This is a pretty clean car. They parked it right where it's sitting. He was driving this car not too awful long ago. Been sitting a little while, but not like it's been sitting for decades like a lot of these other cars. Still pretty clean inside. And then here we have another Lincoln Premier. I guess this one here was a really nice car, but then a tree limb fell on it, busted out the windshield and crunched the roof in a little bit. But still, it's pretty nice condition, got lots of good parts if nothing else. If a guy was to take this one here, buy that and then buy that convertible that's in the barn, put the two together, you could have a nice car. Like I was saying, the house is clear full of parts too. I have no clue what's in there, what condition they're in. It'll all be at the auction. And that's that. I am headed out. I promised the people I'd go help them. I'd hang out longer and look around some more, but I did promise. Actually, I'm just gonna turn around. There's kind of a mud hole right there I was worried about, but I think it'll be all right. But yeah, I promised the people I would help this afternoon with some stuff, so I need to go do that. I will definitely be here at this sale, as long as nothing catastrophic happens anyway. The sale will be August 3rd, I think, if I'm remembering right. My internet's not working, so I can't look it up. But you can just stay tuned to Morris Yoder Auctions. He'll have all the details. He'll have more pictures and stuff like that on his website here pretty soon. Honestly, probably by the time I get this video edited, he'll probably already have the stuff on his website. So that link is in the description below. Once again, thank you to Morris and to the family for letting me come out here and do this. And with that, I'm going to chill out in the air conditioning. I got an hour drive back to home, so hopefully I can cool down a little bit. As always, I hope you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. And remember to get out there and find an adventure. And every now and then, like this deal here, adventure finds you. We'll see you next time.